ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। हरि ओम, salutations to all. So some of the pointers of Atma is what we saw yesterday, and each of the verses ended with Hridhi Kalayati Vidwan Brahma Purnam Samadhau. In the state of Samadhi, this is what the realized master experiences. Continuing further, 412. समाहितान्तःकरणस्वरूपे विलोकयात्मानम् अखण्डवैभवम् विच्छिन्धि बन्धं भवगन्धगन्धितं यत्नेन पुंस्त्वं सफलीकुरुष्व. So he says here, Samahita Antakarana Swarupe, having merged the Antakarana in one's own Swarupa, Vilokayatmanam Akhanda Bodh Vaibhavam, and having seen the infinite glory of this Atma, Vichindi Bandham Bhavagandha Gandhitam, you destroy the bondage, cut the bondage, Vichindi Bandham, Bhavagandha Gandhitam, which has been strengthened by our own past. Bhava means to become. Bhavagandha Gandhitam. That expression means that from the past, whatever impressions we have collected, then we are in this present state. Today our state is the result of evolution of so many lives. In so many lives, the body identification that we have had, and then the sense of incompleteness, which makes one want to become more and more something else, that is called Bhava Gandha Gandhita. I will come to little more detail of this. Yatnena pumsvam safali kurushva. And with great effort, make this life successful by experiencing this state of Atma in the Samadhi, by cutting off the bondage, the incessant thirst to become something, make this life successful. So that's the basic meaning of this verse. So in this, what Gurudev has explained here is in the first paragraph, what he says is Bhavagandha Gandhitam means samsara vasana vasitam, which is ajnana. So because I don't know who am I, continuously I have a thirst to become something else, and that is the cause to generate more and more vasanas. And so he says, detach completely from the worldly life, stinking with the foul odor of change and sensuality. This cannot be done easily. A lot of effort has to be made. Yatnena pumstvam, that's what that means. Hence the teacher says, Yatnena, by striving. Constantly be at it until you are redeemed from all attachments with the world around. Thus fulfill your human birth, your manhood, your human birth, your goal of life, fulfill the very program of evolution. So samadhi is that sthiti and atma jnana is that state which helps one to get out of this ignorance. So what we generally think otherwise as knowledge, in terms of intellectual knowledge, that is only a preceding step. With that intellectual conviction, what I should be able to do, vichindi bandham, learn to withdraw from all the worldly bondages. Now, what this means here, when Gurudev says here that detach yourself completely from worldly life, stinking with the full odor of change and sensuality. If I am staying in the world, then how can I do this? That's why he says this cannot be done easily. Externally, I may have to do some duty, I may have to work, I may have to spend time with people, but in my sadhana time, in my attitude of life itself, bhoga vritti must go first from the attitude of the mind. It is not outside and around. One may be sitting in a party, one may be sitting in a theater, one may be anywhere. If one has to do the duty, one has to do. But the vritti to enjoy is not there. Janak Maharaj lived in the kingdom or not? Ashtavakra Muni was his guru. Janak Maharaj did not leave the whole kingdom. Some prarabdha karma, he has to be there as a king. But bhoga vritti he destroyed. So if bhoga vritti is not there, then where one is makes no difference. To a certain extent, yes, it may be a hindrance. One would like to spend more time doing sadhana rather than doing these things, but then one has to take this as sadhana. Saying ki some karma I am exhausting, Bhagavan has put me here now. When the conducive situation has to arise in terms of these things also have to end externally, it will anyway happen. If it is not happening, one should not worry. Take it as a duty, say, Bhagavan, you put me here, I am doing my best. But remove the bhoga vritti. Don't say that now that I am here, might as well enjoy everything. Then that is a bhoga vritti inside. A yogi will not do that. Yogi may sit in the movie hall or a party or any such place, but the mind is not craving to enjoy and indulging, For formality, one has to do something, one may do also, but there is no internally a craving, a dependency, nothing of that. So if that is the situation, and then when one is sitting to withdraw in the quiet moments, whatever that time may be, Gurudev always said this, one thing we should remember. He said in meditation, don't try length, try depth. So we start with that. If I get maybe 1 hour in the morning to do the puja, japa, whatever it is, then in that time, I should be able to withdraw completely from everything. That time, nothing should trouble me. That 1 hour is a precious time where I am able to withdraw. And to the extent I will be able to withdraw, to that extent, samadhi avastha will happen. Withdraw from the things around, from the body, from the breath, from the mind, from the intellect, from the ego, and come to this. So samahita antakarana swarupe, and contemplate on the self. So having steadily withdrawn, then contemplate on the self. Vilokayatmanam akhanda vaibhava. And see the self. See the self meaning know that I am that pure consciousness. With this, vichindi bandham. So bandham is destroyed in two ways. One way, first destroy the bhoga asakti and karma asakti. Two things. The craving to indulge and the craving to work. Restlessness to work. Now, the restlessness to work is also actually prompted by bhoga vritti only. Because after I work, I want to enjoy. I am working to enjoy. Kurute karma bhogaya. Karma is done for enjoyment only. And to enjoy, I further work. Karma kartum cha bhunjate. So I work for enjoyment, and for enjoyment I work. To enjoy, I work further. That is called restlessness to work. So when I have to work, I work with the attitude of seva. When I have to do any, when I have to enjoy, there also I enjoy in limited quantity, and that also I dedicate to Bhagavan, not with bhoga vritti. So if I feel like I have to eat something very tasty, delicious, offer to Bhagavan, then eat. That also if it has to be. Otherwise, one is not even bothered. What is sent, just eat. What is made, one eats. Mind doesn't think in any of these. So first level of bandha mukti is this bhavagandha gandhitam, is that I must work towards removing bhoga vritti and karma vritti, karma asakti, bhoga asakti and karma asakti. That is inside here. When that goes, this withdrawal will become very automatic. Then the second method will happen, which is to contemplate steadily on the Atma, which will destroy ignorance, ajnana. When that ignorance is destroyed, then vilokaya atmanam akhanda vaibhavam. One will know that Atma as one's own Swarupa. This is required. So this is called yatnena pumstvam. One has to put this effort and with great determination. Yatnena pumstvam safali kurushva. Make this human life successful. Gurudev has quoted here the Bhagavad Gita's 15th chapter. Etad buddhva buddhiman syat kritakrityascha bharata. Having known this, a person is called a wise person. Buddhiman syat. And kritakrityascha bharata. That person has done what needs to be done. So kritakrityata is a sense of fulfillment. That I have done what needs to be done. And as a human being, what is to be done? The main duty is Atmagnya. To destroy avidya, to get freedom, to experience one's own nature as infinite consciousness. That is the main purpose of human life itself. And that's why the whole evolution gets complete only with human birth. And in human birth, strive to realize the Atma. The next one. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam satchidanandamadvayam bhavayatmanamatmastham nabhuya kalpase dhvane. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam. When one has detached from all the upadhis, upadhi means the equipment, the body, mind, intellect. Sachidananda Advayam, the non-dual Sachidananda Swarup Atma. Bhavaya Atmanam Atmastham. One should contemplate on that Atma by oneself. Nabhuya Kalpase Advane. One will never come back again into the cycle of birth and death. Nabhuya Kalpase Advane. So these two things have to be done. Upadhi vinirmuktam Sachidanandam Bhavaya. That is what contemplation is. Detached from all the BMI identification, attached to the Atma. When we do that, then Nabhuya Kalpase Advane. One will not come back into the cycle of birth and death. Again, Gurudev has quoted the Gita here. Mam upetya tu kaunteya punar janmana vidyate. Having attained the supreme, one will not again fall back into the cycle of birth and death. So now this is the instructions about what to do in that state. what is the experience in that state, how the Mahatma or the yogi contemplates steadily on the Atma and comes to establish in the state of Samadhi in the Atma. Now the next portion is about the body. What is the attitude of this person towards the body? How does a realized man or a woman look upon the body? छायेव पुंसः परिदृश्यमानम् आभासरूपेण फलानुभूत्या शरीरमाराच्छव वह्निरस्तं पुनर्न सन्धत्त idam mahatma. So he says, so in this section now we'll give different analogies, that what is the attitude of this Jivan Mukta towards the body. So first analogy is the shadow analogy. Chaya eva pumsaha paridrishyamanam. It is like the shadow which one sees, abhasa rupena phalanubhutya. Though it is visible, why? See, this phalanubhutya refers to the body. In our day-to-day life, the shadow of the body is cast. That is chaya eva pumsa paridrishyamanam abhasa rupena phalanubhutya. This body is causing this shadow. In our case, this physical body is the shadow. What it means? The analogy of the shadow is given that this body's shadow is cast. How that shadow, one doesn't bother about it. Because anything happens to that shadow, one is walking somewhere and the shadow is, run over by a truck, nothing happens. Or we are walking but the shadow is fallen in a ditch, nothing happens. So what is the attitude of ours towards that shadow? Is complete indifference. Now in the same way, this body of ours is the shadow, is what the Jivan Mukta's attitude is. And this body is got because of what? Phalanubhutya. Abhasa rupena phalanubhutya. Past karmas we have done, it is a result of that, byproduct of that. Shariram arachava, Sharira arachavavan nirastam. And so he casts it off. Cast it off meaning no body identification. He drops the whole body identification completely. Punarna sandhatta idam mahatma. And one will never again attach back to this body, that I am this body. That attitude will never come back. Like how we never have the attitude that I am the shadow. It just exists. We are indifferent towards it. We don't bother about it. Any praise or insult, nothing. It doesn't make any difference to us. That is the state of this Mahatma towards the body, towards the world around. Complete indifference in terms of the psychological need for completeness, for approval, for feeling loved, being praised, appreciated. All that is gone. See, what will be the mind of that person? Free, completely free. No body identification, no jiva bhav, so no sense of incompleteness. What does that person feel? Fulfillment, what was said earlier, Atmanam akhanda vaibhavam. Vilokaya Atmanam akhanda vaibhavam. One perceives this whole universe as the expression of the self. In Samadhi also expression of the self, experiences the self. Outside also expression of the self. So their attitude toward this one particular body is of complete indifference. In Gurudev's commentary, he has done nicely this second paragraph. This physical body, which is apparent, paridrishyamanam, is negated by the man of realization. He ignores it as he would his own shadow. We do not consider our shadow as anything sacred. What does it matter if it is dragged along on the stones and over ponds? Even if the head of my shadow is in the ditch, I don't feel suffocated nor do I become dirty. Similarly, my body is something other than me and it is as much related to me as the shadow is to my body. So that is the attitude. No doubt the shadow arises from the body. If there is no body, there cannot be a shadow. We can safely say that the shadow is caused by the body. Similarly, we can say that this body is caused by the self, the Atman. But the relationship between the Atman and the body is only as intimate as that between the human body and its shadow. That's the essence. So this is the attitude that the body is just like a shadow. And he says like Shariram Arachavan Nirastam. Drop the body as a corpse. Drop the body as a corpse means nobody has any fascination for a corpse. See, here this does not mean the Mahatma will kill the body and make it a corpse. No. In body identification, they are like a corpse. Nobody identifies with the body and says, I am this or I love this very much. Of course, one cannot say to one's body at that time when one is dead, but when we see other person dead, one will never say. One loves the person, but not that body. That dead body is a body. The person one had loved and that person is gone. Now that body is mere corpse, which is going to decay, which has to be buried or burned. So that is the attitude of the realized person towards one's body. It is a corpse. And Vedanta tells us that or not. Even while we are living right now here, this body of ours is a corpse, is dead only. The moment the subtle body ejects from the gross body, the body is finished. By itself, it is Jada Vastu only, made up of 5 elements. So the attitude that the realized master has towards the body is that it is like a corpse. No fascination for it. Whichever age it can be. That's the beauty of it. You see, what happens is when we think about it, we feel that when the body is young, then it is so nice, it is so beautiful or handsome and all that. And slowly as it becomes old, starts to decay, then we can say, no, I am not this. Why? Because wrinkles have started coming, teeth are falling, hair is going, back has bent now. Now the body is no more looking handsome and beautiful and whatever. So one says, I'm not interested much. No. These Mahatmas can be at any age. Shankaracharya at the age of 8. Jnaneshwar Maharaj, he was only 16. Vivekananda took sannyas at 20. Young age. The body is a corpse means it is a corpse. It doesn't become a corpse when it starts becoming old and decaying. The attitude is this is a Jada Vastu right from the beginning. From the moment I realize that I am not this, from that moment it is Jada Vastu only. So Shariram Arachavavan Nirastam. Shariram Arat Shavavat Nirastam. That's the splitting. Shavavat, it is like a corpse. No fascination for it at all. That Dehatma Bhav is what has to be destroyed. If Dehatma Bhav is gone, then this attitude has come. I am this body. That body identification has to go. That is meaning. That is the meaning of this. That shavavat nirastam, drop like a corpse. There are only two choices. Either I will drop dead, or I can drop the body identification before the body drops dead. This Mahatma has done the second one. Before the body drops dead, that person has dropped body identification, has become indifferent to the body. See, to some extent, this obviously has to happen before, in the state of samadhi itself, this has to happen. Then what to talk when they come out of that state? Their attitude will be indifferent. They are not going to get fascinated that I am this body again. If I live like that, then there is obviously no possibility of realizing the self. Because in samadhi, what am I trying to say? I am trying to withdraw and say, I am not the body, I am not the body, I am not the body. When one comes out of that samadhi avastha, then what one is doing? I am the body, so go on indulging and enjoying. No, then there is contradiction. One will not even experience samadhi because body identification is strong. To come into the state of samadhi itself, the Jivan Mukta has destroyed the body identification a lot. Then only one comes there. You see, Raman Maharshi, he limps. If you see some of the videos, old footage of Raman Maharshi is there. He will limp actually. How he walks, one leg of his has problem. Why that has a problem? Because if you go to Tiruvannamalai in the temple there's a Patal Gufa where now they have built the Atmalinga is there. So the Shivlinga is kept there and now a small temple is built around below. But that is the place where Sheshadri Swami found Ramana Maharshi as a young boy. When he left his home and he came here, then he was living there, absorbed in that Samadhi Avastha, days on end, and there are maggots, ants, various creatures, rats, which are eating away his body, his legs, the flesh. Infection is there in that. But you look at him, he is lost in samadhi. There is no body identification at all. And that is their state. Shavavat nirastam. Now, if there is a dead body, if anybody goes and any creature goes and nibbles at it, what will be that attitude of that corpse? Nothing. It is dead body. To have that attitude while living in the sadhana avastha is what will make that person go into samadhi. Then what to talk of their attitude when they come out of it? They will not bother at all. Prarabdha takes care of the body. You remember what was said in the earlier verses. Prarabdham pushyati vapuhu iti nischitya nischalaha. His body will be taken care of by prarabdha. That's what it says phalanubhutya. Means past karma. This body's lifespan, what it will go through in terms of experiences, in terms of food, water, shelter, all those are already fixed by what? Phalanubhutya, by past karma only. So the Jivan Mukta leaves it on that, says doesn't matter, I have Purushartha capability, I will try and withdraw from body identification and know the self. Whatever is the destiny of the body, it will happen. At one point, that's what they will do. They will drop this body identification and not even bother about it. That's why you see rishis are shown meditating for years together and they have long beard and long jata and all that. Why? Not bothered. How much can one pamper this body? And the body is a strange thing. The more you pamper it, the more it demands. With the line of necessity and luxury, what was a necessity, what was a luxury yesterday becomes a necessity today. It goes on creating that, it's like boundary keeps increasing. More and more comfort the body keeps on wanting. At one point, the Mahatma says, "What is this now? Anyway, I am not the body." That's the truth I have to realize. Drop it. So even basic necessities of the body, they may not be bothering about. Forget the luxuries and even the so-called necessity that we have apart from food, water and shelter. They don't bother about food, water and shelter also. Some Mahatma will be below a tree, somebody will be in a patal, somebody will be in some gufa somewhere on the mountain. You know, if you see some of the places, uh, Indore, last year when I went to Indore, from there we went to Ujjain. There is Bhartrihari Gufa. So Bhartrihari was a great king, the brother of Vikramaditya, Bhartrihari. He got disillusioned and he got Vairagya. He is the one who wrote Vairagya Shatakam, Niti Shatakam, Shringara Shatakam. And he became a disciple of the Nath Sampradaya, Gorakhnath. So Bhartrihari Gufa is there. Two gufas are there. If you go inside, it is so narrow. Second gufa especially is very, very narrow. So dark, no proper ventilation at all, no light. But the Nath Sampradaya yogis and the Bhartrihari Raja, they all have meditated there, inside somewhere in that gufa. Why? Because no botheration from the world outside, because it is so inside, nobody will bother them there. Sit quietly in a solitude in a cave and withdraw the attention away from the body. So proper air is not there, proper light is not there, water is not there, food is not there, but complete silence, solitude, they are withdrawn. And days on end they will live like that. We think that food is sustaining this body. That is a secondary part. Don't stop eating food from today. Food is food is required for the body. It is a secondary part how it sustains the body. Really, what sustains the body is this karma only, prarabdha karma. Are we not seeing healthy people dying? Having eaten properly, one sleeps and then gone. So body, the condition of the body is determined by its own past karma, the prarabdha karma. But my body identification, I can drop by my purushartha only. And that purushartha I can do only in human life. That's why the earlier sloka said, Safali Kurushva, make this human life successful. Get out of this body identification. It is a trap. It is a prison. Body is a prison. The infinite pure consciousness is as though bound in one body. With this one body identification, I think I am this, and life after life, one is going through tremendous suffering. And the power of Maya is one still doesn't want to get out of body identification. That Bhoga Vritti and Karma Vritti, they are so deep that they don't allow the body identification to drop, because body identification sustains by these two, Bhoga Asakti, Karma Asakti. These Mahatmas have given up both. No Bhoga Asakti, no Karma Asakti, so they are able to sit quietly and withdraw. Having withdrawn, then their attitude towards the body is like these two. Like a shadow, and how towards the shadow we have indifference, and like a corpse, dead body. No fascination for anything. One may say, but such a dull, boring life. No, our life is boring. Their life is Atmanam Akhanda Vaibhavam. They experience infinite bliss. Our bliss is so-called Vishayananda, is one small, tiny little glimpse of the infinite bliss that these people experience. It is a delusion to think that our sense pleasures are great. They are poison only. They are death. Pain in disguise they are actually. What Buddha said. Every pleasure is pain in disguise. We are experiencing pain, calling it pleasure. They are experiencing real bliss, which we are calling as pain. Why? Because for us that is unimaginable. To withdraw from all this and sit quietly and realize very boring life. Try now 15 days no? Till 31st March. Malls closed, cinema hall closed, clubs closed, swimming pool closed, everything closed. What to do now? Best time to do sadhana. Apply, read the books, reflect, meditate, do some exercise, sleep, again get up, do. Best time to do. Why no distraction at all? No need to go out anywhere, do anything. Be in solitude. Make your house like a cave. Meaning, don't transform it like a cave. Meaning, consider that you are in a cave now, withdrawn, sit quietly there. Why crib? Nothing to crib. Sit quietly, withdraw from body identification, remember the name of the Lord, contemplate on the Atma. That's all. So if I do that, I will realize that state. For us, that seems to be painful. The process of withdrawing and then contemplating on the Nirgun Nirakar Parabrahma Tattva, that seems painful, and the body craves for more and more sense pleasure. But the attitude of these Mahatmas is the body is like a dead body. Completely, they have dropped the attachment to the body and they look at it as a shadow. No difference it makes to them. Punarna Sandhatta Idam Mahatma. That person will not come back to this body identification, will not come back into the cycle of birth and death. So this is the attitude towards the body. Next three verses also are like that. Not three, this whole section is like that. Different ways to explain the attitude of the Jivan Mukta towards the body. So for them, that is the natural state. For us, this becomes a sadhana. For them to look at the body as a shadow and to treat it like a corpse is already natural because as a part of the sadhana, they've already done. For us, this becomes a sadhana. Treat it like a shadow. Take care of it as much as it is required to do sadhana. Beyond that, nothing more. सतत विमल बोधानंद रूपम समेत्य त्यज जडमल रूपोपाधिमेतं सुदूरे अथ पुनरपि नैष स्मर्यतां वान स्मर्यतां वान्तवस्तु स्मरण विषय भूतं कल्पते कुत्सनाय. Don't get scared reading this section. If we understand it in the right context, that is all. Because now what is said is more difficult. Satata Vimala Bodha Ananda Rupam Sametya. Having realized this, that my true nature is constant illumination, Satata Vimala Bodha, my true nature is infinite bliss, Ananda Rupam. Tyaja, you drop Jada Malarupa Upadhimetam Sudure. Tyaja Sudure, meaning fling it far away. What? This body. What is the body? Jada, it is inert. Malarupa, it is full of dirt and filth. Upadhimetam, this instrument, don't actually go and fling it. What they mean is drop this body identification. That's what Mahatma has done. Abiding in the nature of the Atma, which is Akhanda, Vimala, Bodha, Swarupa, Ananda Rupa. So the contrast is brought about, saying that this is the nature of Atma, Satchid Anand, and this is the nature of the body, Jada, Malarupa, Upadhimetam. He says, fling it, dude, far away you fling. Tyaja Jada Malarupa Upadhimetam Sudure. Atha Punarapi Naisha. Smaryatam vanta vastu. Don't again remember it. Example given here is vomit. Does anybody like to see what is there in the vomit and go on dissecting it? Once it is out, you just move away. Nobody is going to sit and watch what is there in the vomit, how nice it is. Nothing. He says treat the body like a vomit. Meaning don't keep remembering. Thrown away the body identification, then there is no question of remembering again. Hey, I was this, I was that. If body was so nice, I did such nice enjoyments with it. Nothing. It is jada, malarupa, upadhimetam, sudure, tyaja. Throw it away, far. Don't think anymore. Why? Smarana Vishaya Bhutam Kalpate Kutsanaya. Because if you remember what is being vomited, Vantavastu is vomit. Even the even if I remember that I vomited, that feeling itself is disgusting. What to talk about seeing what is vomited and then the smell is there and then the dirt and filth is there? Who will remember? It says Marana Vishaya Bhutam Kalpate Kutsanaya. Because it will only bring disgust to the mind. Kalpate Kutsanaya. It is not a thing to be remembered. Svarana Vishaya Bhutam. See, these are very powerful analogies. The body, the attitude of the Mahatma towards the body is like our attitude towards the vomit. Nobody will go and see it, nobody will remember it, nobody wants to fantasize about it. Imagine how powerful this analogy is. Our mind goes on fantasizing, enjoyment with the body. Nice food, nice movie, nice music, nice dance, nice party, nice celebration, something it goes on. Imagine. The best part is where one goes to reduce imaginations, there also one imagines. That's the attachment the body creates. One goes for spiritual sadhana to destroy body identification. But when one is going for spiritual sadhana, you should see the luggage that people carry for the camp. All fancy items will be there, makeup kit will be there, everything will be there with it. Good food, makeup, precious clothes, so many things are there. One has gone to do what? Reduce body identification. But the mind still carries all these. Why? Because one wants to look like that. Especially now, earlier still one could understand. One could, one need not have carried so much. One was able to take a few things. Today, pictures have become so important. So everything is done keeping picture in mind. So if it is a 7 days camp, 14 pairs of clothes will be required. Why? Because I cannot repeat any clothes. In picture it will come. Where did you go? For spiritual camp. What to do? What? Drop body identification. Very good. I'm not saying don't bring clothes and all that and don't look nice and presentable and beautiful and all that. That whatever one wants to do, one can do. But the point here is the attitude which the realized master has towards the body is this, that our body is just an instrument, that is all. And these are the attitudes when we have the false identification, the importance and the value that we have given to this body, apart from what it should actually be. It is a tool to do sadhana, that is all, nothing more than that. But it has got, that part has got ignored, rest everything has got projected. So the mind goes on imagining sense pleasure with the body. The verse here is to destroy that, saying this is like a vomit. Who goes on remembering vomit? Why do you want to go on recollecting that, remembering that, fascinating that, fantasizing that? Not required at all. It is disgusting. See, this is the attitude of the Jivan Mukta. Now, if anybody says, no, no, Swami, it is not disgusting, I want to still enjoy, please go happily enjoy. There is no problem. This is not to condemn anybody. This is to explain what level of Vairagya is there in the Mahatma is natural. This Param Vairagya is natural for them. For us, this has to become a sadhana if we want to realize the self. If somebody still wants to enjoy in the world and you know experience the pleasures, that is one's choice. One can always do that. Spirituality is not condemning anybody, but it will definitely tell very strongly, ki, Are, what are we doing? It will shake us up. It has to shake because our fixation is very, very strong. I am this body, happiness is through this body. That fixation is there in this mind of not one life, many, many lives. So, if one has to shake it up, strong blows are required. And this is what Shastra does. Powerful blows it gives. Now imagine next time I enjoy pleasure, vomit comes to my mind. That what am I fascinating it about, fantasizing about? That is the power of this analogy. That if the mind tries to do what we call manorajya means imagine sense pleasure through mental uh, build up, He says, what kind of a manorajya, what are you doing? Who analyzes and remembers and fantasizes about vomit? Nobody will do it. Oh mind, why are you doing it? Then what should I do? Just remember Sachidananda Swarup Atma. That's it. Satata Vimala Bodha Ananda Rupam Sametya. You realize that and fling this body, meaning fling this body identification away. Why? Because this is a bundle of mala. It is filled with filth. And jada, it is inert. What is inert? What is made up of mala, which is just an upadhi, an equipment which is conditioning me? Will anybody fantasize their stay in the prison, leaving the freedom of the world outside, home, family, people, leaving all that, one is sent to a jail. Will anybody fantasize life in a jail? Nobody will fantasize. It is a pain. All my freedom is gone. Now I put here in this jail. And now sitting here in the jail of this body, I am going on fantasizing. Who am I? Ananta Akhanda Vimala Bodha Ananda Rupam. That is my nature. That freedom is gone. Now I am stuck in this one body. And now in this one body, I am sitting and fantasizing. Oh, enjoyment. It's like saying that person sitting in the jail is fantasizing about the roti that he will get in the jail, the dal that he will get in the jail. Are, what was the freedom? Where you came from? How you are bound here in this? And now in this one is fantasizing here. That's the power of Maya, how delusion works. So the Shastra gives one shot saying, Are, wake up. Drop this body identification. Sudure, meaning drop it in such a way that it never comes back. That's why the word is Tyaja Sudure. Fling it. If we drop it nearby, we may go and pick it. That's what it means. Now and then we drop like that, sometimes. What body, which body, I am not the body. Sometime. Then again we pick it up. Again it comes back. With deeper force it comes back. That's why sustained effort is required. Yatnam Kurushva was said earlier. Sustained effort to destroy this body identification, Dehatma Bhav, which is strengthened by what? Bhoga Asakti and Karma Asakti. These three, Tyaja Ati Dure. fling it far away. That none of these are required. I am not this body. Sense enjoyments are poison, and this whole thing is like a vomit. The body fantasizing the sense enjoyment, and that does it end? See that also. It never ends. What Shankaracharya ji wrote is so true in today's world, so all the more true. When he wrote, Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam vriddho yati grihitva dandam tadapina munchati asha pindam. This asha pinda, the desire never ends. Body has become old, infirm, incapable of any sense enjoyment. But still one wants to enjoy. Still one wants to dye the hair black, still one wants to put the denture, still one wants to enjoy pizza, still one wants to wear high heel shoes and go around. Arey, how long? Some point it has to stop. Saying that this is going in a reverse direction. I am happily driving at 120 or 150 kilometer per hour in the reverse direction. A goal is there and I am going that side. That's what is happening. So it is not going to happen by age. By age it may increase also. Ideally it should decrease because I've seen enough. Vairagya should come by then. But as Gurudev said, old age comes by passage of time. Maturity and Vairagya comes by reflection only. And that reflection, how many people do? If we don't do that reflection, then we are going to be like this only, going in a opposite direction. Far, 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 far away. Lives after life, one has gone in opposite direction. To come back to the source, that's why it's taking effort. The further I go, the further time it is going to take. So here, fling this body identification so far that one doesn't go and pick it again. Otherwise, few moments one feels I am not the body, and then the rest of the moments one feels I am the body. Goes on indulging. That contradiction cannot happen. So tyaja ati dure, sudure, jada mala rupa upadhimeta. So two aspects again here. Earlier had shadow and corpse. Now this has that the body has to be flung. Body identification must be flung far away, and then don't remember it. You see, if we have thrown something up, not go and pick it up again. It is thrown, gone. That is called sannyas. The literal meaning of sannyas is this verse. Asyati, throw. Sannyas means very well thrown. Very well thrown meaning body identification is thrown in such a way that you don't pick up again. I am the body attitude gone. I am the jiva gone. I have to enjoy gone. Literally sannyas is that bhuhu bhuvaha suvaha sannyastam. Meaning the craving for enjoyment in this world, in the Bhuvarloka and in the heaven, Suvarloka, all that is dropped because I am not the body. Body identification only is dropped. That is called sannyas. Throw well and throw it in such a way that never one picks it up again. Why? Because it is this one, Vanta Vastu. Will anybody, it is going to be disgusting, but this is only to remember, okay, Vairagya. What is vomited, will you drink it back? So disgusting, right? And looking at it only disgusting. Who will drink it back? Yeah. But what is the mind doing? Every time in satsang it understands this body is mala rupa, jada, upadhimetam, all that. Thrown. Moment satsang is over, sadhana is over, japa, puja is over, again take it back. What is thrown, again picked up, again throw, again pick up. This is going on happening. It is like this, what is vomited, again drink, again vomit, again drink. So disgusting. But if you see, that is what the mind is doing, na? That's why these Mahatmas, for them, the attitude is this. They say this body is asyati, sudure, thrown so far away, they will never come back to it. No body identification again. No delusion that I will get happiness through the world outside. Thrown far away. So for today, we will stop here. Any questions? Welcome to ask. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om